Well, hello everyone. This is Dr. Eileen, and this is Medicine Walk, and class is in session. Now, I want to thank everybody who was logging in with questions and comments and things like that, and that's really cool, and it really excites me that, people want to know more about this information. So, as I said, the things I'm covering are basics. And what I want to do is just give folks a good basic knowledge of some tools that they can use that can, be very helpful to them. Now, there are more advanced levels of all of this, but this is a good place to start. And once again, I want to remind everybody that these are traditions as they've been taught to me. Other people may have different traditions around these things. So just understand that, mine is only, one river leading to the ocean. There are many rivers that lead to the same ocean. So if somebody says, well, that's not the way that I learned it, or that's not the way it should be, it's like, well, it's just different. It's just another way. It's just a different way of looking at the process. Because ultimately, it's all about achieving the same goal. It's about finding that place of balance. It's about finding a way and tools to be able to walk a little bit more gently in this world when it doesn't feel the world's being as gentle with you. So, we're continuing on with clearing. Last time we talked about clearing of spaces. So today we're going to talk more about personal clearing and also a little bit about clearing of items. So regarding personal clearing, I get a lot of questions about, well, first off, when do you know that you need a clearing? And really, that's kind of unique to each person. That's about how you feel. And it's also about really being in touch with your own energy. And that's the best part about a lot of these practices, is that by learning how to correct an issue, you're able to become so sensitive to your own system and your own body and your own being that you know when you need something cleared, when something does need to be adjusted, adjusted like, chiropractically. I have a lot of patients who just say, you know what, I don't know exactly what it is, but it just feels wrong. I feel off. And whether that's energetically or structurally, the first sign or the first part of solving a problem is understanding what that problem is. So when you're not feeling real well, some people describe it almost as if they're getting ready to catch a cold or a flu. Not sneezing or coughing or anything like that, but that sort of tired feeling that you get, that sort of, kind of, well, it really is. It's almost like you're beginning a flu when, you're not feeling better. You're not feeling like you're in a good mood. You're not feeling like you can tolerate people very much. And so when you start thinking about, how you're feeling, it's important to pay attention when that feeling starts and to go, okay, is there a reason for this? Maybe I am coming down with something. Or if that's not a part of it, then start considering the possibility that it's something energetic. That maybe you're dealing with, people who drain you, or, maybe somebody has drained you, or maybe you've been in a situation where there's been a lot of toxic energy and some kind of seeped in on you. Like I say, it's like going to a barbecue wearing white. The trick is don't get any on you. The second trick is when you do, learn how to get it out. So, for whatever reason that you're not feeling, real balanced, or, that maybe you just, kind of are feeling a little sluggish. If it feels like it's your energy, there's a few different things. Now, last time we talked about sage, and that it has the capacity to, clear energy. So sometimes just, lighting a little bit of sage, letting it burn, and, when you've got it, usually, often you'll find it in a bundle. And it just amazes me that I can get these on Amazon. But you can go to a store, or you can grow your own. There are ways to just cultivate sage plants, and they'll grow out in the wild, and then you could have that, and you can dry it. If the sage is fresh, then, you know, it's soft, and you could just kind of, you know, if you're sensitive to smokes, you can just kind of stroke it over your skin, you know, across your face, and just kind of enjoy that aroma that it lets off. But in most cases, when you're dealing with sage or cedar, you know, we got our cedar here, uh, it is in a bundle, and that bundle is meant to be able to, you know, you just light a little bit, and then, oh gosh, it just feels so good. You know, this morning my car was acting up, and you know, I was stressing about that, and just just inhaling the sage, just for me, it kind of allows me to go into that place of relaxation and de-stressing. Cedar, as we cedar, as we dealt with, is that's about blessing. You know, it's about correcting. I don't know, maybe I should go burn some cedar over my car. But there's something else that is used in clearing, which is sweetgrass. And sweetgrass, as it's named, it smells very sweet, and it usually comes in a braid. And sweetgrass is also about clearing, but it's about bringing in positive energy. It's about releasing negative energy, bringing in positive energy. I've heard it said that where sage is, you know, the clearing, sage removes something, sweetgrass invites. It invites positivity. It invites, you know, a better frame of mind. It invites in healing. So depending on what it is, if you're feeling that it's maybe something affecting you physically, something affecting you emotionally, you can just take it, and sweetgrass, you would just light up the very end, and once again, oh goodness, this is just so nice. I was really looking forward to taping this because, you know, I just love the herbs and how they work, and how they incorporate and help us to feel better. You know, the aspects of nature are really, really, really there for us. They want us to feel better. And the energies that they have, that, you know, that they share with us, the healing that they share with us, is just amazing. And if we allow ourselves to tap into it, if we allow ourselves to connect with it, it can be very powerful and very helpful. Now, let's say the clearing is, you know, for a lot of you, you may already be practitioners. You may already be doing works. And let's say you're, you know, you're working on someone energetically, either Reiki or any of the other energetic healing traditions. One of the things that can be done is utilizing fire as a clearing item. And often, if I'm working with somebody energetically, I make sure that I have at least one candle in the room. And we talked last time about setting containers. And we're going to talk more about containers in more detail at later points. But just the idea of having candles set around, because it allows you to have like a visual boundary. It allows you to actually see how the energy is doing, because sometimes a candle may get a little wonky. So in utilizing, you know, candles, and, you know, this is like one of my favorite little holders. It's, you know, just, I always love it when I use that. And you can use like a little tea light candle in it. I know that we talked about using the tall glass candles. If I'm going to be in a work that's going to be a lot more involved, that, you know, I know is going to go for a while, I'll use those. But for just little simple things where I know it's going to be, because always safety first, you know, something like this, it's very stable, but you still want to make sure that it's somewhere where, you know, it's not going to get bumped and nothing's going to happen like that. So what you can do is just kind of move your hands over the candle. You know, you don't have to stick them in or anything. And just move them over. And what that can do is that you can actually call in that clearing energy of fire, and let that spiritual essence from that do the clearing for you. And, you know, and often I'll see people who are working on someone, you know, they'll come over and they'll just put their hands over the candle, and use that as a clearing method. I mean, whichever way energetically works with you, some people have that strong connection with fire energy. So people like that, definitely utilizing, being able to utilize candle, utilize light, utilize that to be able to help clear yourself. And, you can just bring in the energy. And if you got long hair, make sure that, you're not like leaning over the candle. So, but just you can be able to, bless yourself with that. Now, some people, if you don't have any of that and you have water. Now, water is amazing for clearing. And the main reason that water is really amazing for clearing is the fact that, one, it's pretty easily accessible. And the thing is, people say it's like, well, it should be holy water and it should be, water from a fresh spring or a natural source. Yes, that can all be true. And if you can get like to a sacred spring or a sacred river or anything like that, those are wonderful. Now, I was often asked, can you use average, ordinary tap water for clearing or cleansing or whatever? And for me, now other people may have different ways about this, but for me, I answer absolutely yes. Because it's not about the physical water, it's about the energy that's put in. And have been books written and studies done. And there was a book by a study by Dr. Emoto, and it was referenced in What the Bleep Do We Know, which is an excellent movie if you want to go see it, because it talks about our relationship. That they did experiments where they froze water, and then they would introduce something. They would, oh no, I don't want to get a text right now. Sorry, I'm recording at the same time that I'm talking to you guys. And so this is for the Blog Talk Radio. And so I've got a recording, and so sometimes it tells me there are messages, but oh well. Anyway, so they would freeze water, and then they would maybe, they would say something to some water, like, they would say angry things to some water, and they would take pictures of what the crystals look like. And it was amazing that, water that was being told, I love you, would freeze in a different way than water where it was told, I hate you. And, they went through all kinds of different things. And, again, it's the work of Dr. Emoto, and I'll put a link to some information on that in the description. But the idea that water becomes what it is, that the intention that's put towards it. If you take a glass of tap water and you pray over it, and, there's some people who will have like bottles and they'll put like love or peace, and that'll be their drinking bottle. And, and I know people who do a morning prayer over their water, and then they just drink from that same container all day. Water will take on whatever it is that's around it. So if you've got a water and you really, put blessing into it and positive thought and all of that, I believe that water is very sacred, because all water is sacred. And as far as clearing, sometimes it can be just as simple as, getting some nice clear water that has been blessed or prayed over, and taking a sip. And the thing is that when you drink water, be very conscious of it. Like, take some in your mouth, hold it in your mouth. Appreciate, connect, because you're mostly water, which is also why, sometimes if people have a lot of negativity projected to them, that the same way that it affected the water crystals, it affects the water in us. So be very careful of your words, especially those words you use about yourself. What are you saying into the mirror? What are you thinking of yourself? Because that changes that sacredness of the water within you. So sometimes just taking a very conscious sip of water, swallow it, feel it go down, feel it become a part of you. And sometimes just something as simple as that can be very clearing. Now, again, you could use sprays, and I'm really excited because I spoke to my friend who is the creator of Solace Mist, and next week she will be with me, and she'll be talking about it and talking about the creation of these things and ideas, and so we'll be able to answer questions because we will be online and we'll be able to have the chat open during the broadcast. So if you have a question that you want to ask for Michelle, then please, please, please tune in next week because it's going to be really a lot of fun and she's going to have some awesome information. Now, blow that up. There's something that I want to share, which is an excellent way to clear. I mean, like when you really, really, really feel like you need a clearing. Now, you could take some sage and you could just put it in a bundle, like maybe some cheesecloth, and boil it and create a, just like like a tea. Don't drink it. Just, I mean, there are ways to ingest these things, but I don't know the correct proportions, so this is specifically for a bath. And then you take it and you take the water from the tea that's made, pour it into a bathtub, and you can soak in it. That's a sage bath. And a sage bath you can take at any time, and if you just kind of want to clear, you can smudge the bathroom first if you want. I mean, if you can actually really make a production of this. You can go in, you can smudge the bathroom, you can have music playing that you like, and and then just have a nice soak. And it really is, a very relaxing thing. Light a candle in there. And so, if you just want to clear, then, then that's a very nice way. Now, there's another clearing that I use a lot, and it's a clearing salt bath, and I'm going to tell you exactly how to do it. You take Epsom salt, you get sea salt, and baking soda. That's it. Epsom salt, sea salt, and baking soda. And what you do is you take 1 cup of Epsom salt, 1 cup of sea salt, and a half a cup of baking soda. And then what you do is pour them separately into a nice hot tub. Now, you want the bathtub totally clean, and you want to, no bubbles or anything like that. This is just a soak by itself. And then you take that and then you pour it into the tub. Now, you don't want to lobster yourself, but as hot as you can comfortably stay in it, because you're going to want to soak in this a while. And again, you can smudge the bathroom beforehand. This is a wonderful thing to do for someone. This is a wonderful thing to do if someone is going through an energetic, difficult place. You can pour a bath for them, or you can have someone pour it for you, which is a really cool thing, to have somebody prepare a bath and clean the space. And you can go in, and what you do is you just soak. And you allow it. Now, the best situation for this is if you have a shower tub combination. Because once once you've done soaking and you can soak until you're a prune, you can, just let yourself really be in it at the very, very least 15 to 20 minutes. But, you can soak as long as you like. And just allow that, because what this does is it really does a major job of clearing, clearing your energy, your auras, your system. And it also is an excellent detox and a clearing for your muscles. It draws, toxins out. So, across the scale, this is a wonderful thing. Now, when you're done soaking, okay, that's, oh. Wow, technology. Anyway, when you're done soaking, you want to rinse it all off completely. That's why a shower tub combination is really, really good. So what you want to do is you want to, when you're done, drain out all the water and just go ahead and shower off. Shower everything off. I mean, hair, everything. Now, if you just have a tub and you don't have a shower, then drain it out, fill the tub again, just with clear water, rinse out the tub, clear water, and then just get in and just kind of clean off, wash off anything, any residue, and then let that drain out, and that should be fine. Now, if you're like me and you only have a shower, I live in a little cabin in the woods, so, I only have a shower. So what you can do is you can prepare it and then just put it in like a pot or something and just kind of pour it over yourself and then rinse off. Now, a sage bath can be done at any time. When you do this type of a bath, I want to stress very much, this is to be done right before bed only. This is not like before work or before, going out into some aggravating situations, because it leaves you very clear, but it also leaves you very open. And you want to be in that place of just, you take this and then you go to bed. You don't watch the news. You don't watch that monster movie that somebody's been trying to get you to watch. You don't, look at tweets that aggravate you. Just go to bed. I mean, if you want to listen to some very gentle, soft music, then, then that's a wonderful thing. And also, often after this, interesting dreams happen. So, try it and see how that goes. But like I said, this is before bed. This is without, going into, any stressful situations afterwards, because it does leave you very clear but very open. So, if you want to, some more information about that, then contact me, and I can email you some more info, like a little handout. It's like, okay, well, what was that again? Okay, 1 cup of Epsom salt, 1 cup of sea salt, half a cup of baking soda. Soak, rinse off, go to bed. So, if you want to, burn some sweetgrass, have somebody burn some sweetgrass for you, inviting in that good positive energy. If you want to burn some cedar afterwards, and, just as like a clearing, closing thing. If you want to, utilize Palo Santo, which, in the traditions that I've heard, basically it kind of seals you into that energetic space. So, it's just basically like, a wood form, and then you just light it up, and there. So, these are different ways that if you're doing it for yourself, or if you're doing it for somebody else, this is a very, very, very powerful clearing experience. So try it out, and let me know how it works for you, how it resonates with you. Now, I wanted to go also over a little bit about, and there's a lot of different reasons for this. If you're a practitioner, probably one of the main things is if you have something that you use with someone, and you want to clear the energy of their experience and their healing, there's a couple of different ways. Whether it's crystals, whether it's items, let's say, I always wear this ring, and this ring is like, really very special to me, and I wear it in works. Now, if I want to clear this, there's a couple of different ways that I can do it. You can clear items by leaving them out, when the very first night of a full moon. You can take your stuff outside, if you have a safe space to do that, and leave them out under the moonlight for 3 nights. And that is, a lot of people, utilize that as a simple way of clearing, and it's a nice regular clearing to be able to do, especially if you've got things that you work with. Now, let's say you want to do something a little more specific. So what you can do is you can take a container, and usually I like glass. I prefer not to, do things like, if I'm using something for clearing or whatever, I prefer not to use like plastic or things like that. Sometimes I'll use wood, and sometimes I'll use ceramic. But, you can get a glass container. And also, if you're using a container for like clearing and things like that, it's a good idea. I mean, you can go to a thrift shop or a dollar store and get yourself like a little glass bowl or something, and you can just use that, but have that be the purpose for that thing. You know, it's like when I was talking about the using the water on a mirror in order to clear a room. And if anybody tried that, then give me a call and let me know. So, you know, you just have that be for that purpose. So anyway, you know, let's say if I wanted to do like a more specific, or if it's not the full moon, you can take an item and, you know, you pour in salt into a container, you put the item in, and then you just cover it with salt. And, you know, I usually use, when I'm working ceremonially, I usually use sea salt. Can you use regular salt? Yes, you can. I like using sea salt for these things because of that connection to the ocean. But, you know, you just take it in there and you put it in, you cover it with salt, and then you just leave it for a few days. And then, you know, when it's been, you know, left for clearing, you just take it out and, you know, kind of brush it off, and you're good to go. So, and also keep in mind that, you know, some people say it's like, well, should you put water in it? That really depends, because some things are very sensitive, and the salt, you know, because it does have a corrosive effect. So make sure that whatever it is that you're putting in the salt, that, you know, it's not going to be damaged by it. There are some crystals that would be tolerant to it, some that aren't. So just make sure that, you know, if you're doing something like that, that it's just for a few days, and that it will, you know, that it will tolerate it. Whatever it is you're putting into the salt will tolerate it. I just use the salt dry and cover it over. Now, you know, salt is also excellent if you, you know, as I said, clearing a space. You just take some salt and sprinkle it around, you know, the perimeter, and you're good. So these are things that I really wanted to talk about, stuff that, you know, is like really easy to find. These are not big, complicated things. You know, sometimes it is that simple. Sometimes it is just about, you know, utilizing, oh my gosh, you know, I have to drive up to Shasta to, you know, get sacred water, or I have to go to here, I have to go to there, because that, it's like, no, water can be water. Water can become what you, the intention you put into it. You know, pray over it. Thank it for being what it is. Thank it for the connection that you already have with it. You know, there's spirit in all things. You know, I'm a druid, and we believe that there's spirit in all things, and many traditions do. And so if this glass of water has a spirit, and I need something from that spirit, I want to be respectful. You know, I want to, you know, put my prayers and my thoughts and that positivity. And also, when you're clearing, you know, if you're clearing somebody, if you're doing, you know, if you're preparing a bath for them, or whatever, remember, you need to be in your good place too. Make sure you're in the best emotional thing that you have, that, you know, that you can be in. If you need to clear yourself before you clear somebody else, then make sure you do that. So, that, I think, will cover the basics of clearing other people, clearing ourselves, and, you know, a little bit on clearing items. You can also use water to clear an item. You could use, you know, you could take it, sometimes, you know, they will pass things over a, like a smudging feather. You know, people will just kind of gently pass it over the top of a flame, you know, not to ignite it, but just to, you know, allow the energy of the flame and the spirit of the flame to come and cleanse. So, thank you for joining me, and as I said, I will be back next week with my guest, Michelle, and I really, really, really hope that that you guys tune in, because that's going to be an awesome show. And if you have any questions, please type them in. I am there watching, you know, as this episode goes, I am in the comments section. So if you have comments during the program or questions, I'll be happy to answer those. And if you find value in this, please like the video, share the video, add your comments, and also subscribe, because I really want to work on building this community. So please subscribe. That would be wonderful. And if you would like to support the channel on a higher level, you can go to my Patreon account. The link is in the description. And for as low as $2 a month, you can be able to support what I'm doing, allow me to get better equipment, and to, take this whole process up to a much higher level. So, thank you so much. And for those of you who are listening on Blog Talk Radio, please go to the YouTube page, and so you can see what it is that I'm doing and see what it is that that I'm showing you. But otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you find value in this. And I'm really, really excited about carrying this through the entire year. So, until next time, and as always, I wish you balance, and I wish you blessings from my heart to yours. Love you. Class dismissed.